Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Natalie Patterson. The biggest winter storm we've seen in quite a while is slamming New Jersey this afternoon. How much more snow will we get? Well, to find out, we're turning to our NJ.com weather reporter, Len Melisorgo. Len, let's get right to it. How much snow could we see by the time this storm is done?
Okay, well, we still have a long way to go. So we're going to be getting a lot of snow the rest of today and then tonight and a little bit tomorrow. The forecasters that I talked to said that the storm is behaving the way they thought it would. So basically that means we're going to be getting some intense amounts of snow. So forecasts that they were calling for as of this morning for some parts of northern New Jersey, don't be surprised if you see 1.5 feet. Some areas, maybe Sussex County and parts of Warren County, they could hit the 20-inch mark, maybe even 24 inches. It's not out of the question with this storm. There is a lot of moisture with this storm system. And as you know, the temperatures are super cold because of that big Arctic blast that we just had the last couple of days. So in the northern part of the state, the temperatures are definitely staying cold enough to support all snow, where down in South Jersey and along the Jersey Shore, you're seeing some warm air mixing in, and that's why they're having a changeover to rain and sleet. I'm actually getting some sleet right here. I'm in Middlesex County in Edison. It just turned to sleet a little while ago. So before it's done, we're looking at 18 to 24 inches up in far northern New Jersey. Big chunk of the state, 12 to 18 inches is not out of the question. Some areas have already had 10 or 11 inches falling already. So yeah, this is a biggie.
Wow. Where do you think is going to see, what part of New Jersey will likely see the most snow?
As of now, it's kind of looking like the areas that normally get the most, the hilly areas up north. And it's not necessarily because they're hilly areas, but they're just in the area that has the coldest air. And it's based on where the storm is setting up over the ocean. The heavy, heavy bands of snow are basically falling over Warren County, Morris, Sussex. Those are the usual hot spots. But there's a real heavy band that's going through Middlesex County and also part of Monmouth County during the last 2 hours. It's been going through and it's still continuing. So parts of Middlesex and Monmouth could also get 12 to 18 inches of snow. Some actually have 10 or 11 already on the ground. So I think you're going to see numbers that are going to be closer to the higher mark on the maps that forecasters have put out.
Yeah, I'm in Monmouth County, southern Monmouth County near the shore, and this is definitely the most snow I've seen in quite a while.
Yeah, everybody forgets in late December, that was December 16th and 17th, which is only a month ago, we did have a pretty sizable storm for North Jersey. South Jersey didn't see too much in that one, but North Jersey really got, some areas had 10, 11, 12 inches. But this is probably going to be the biggest storm we've had in 5 years. 5 years ago, exactly, 2016, in January, we had a blizzard, and the Jersey Shore got hit really hard with that one. And that storm was really unusual because every single county in New Jersey had 12 inches or more of snow. So I don't think you're going to get that with this storm, especially South Jersey and the shore areas that are getting the rain and the sleet mixing in. Probably not going to have the 12-inch totals down there. But the northern part of the state is going to get a lot of snow, and it's going to come pretty close to the numbers that we got back 5 years ago.
And, you know, it started off that real light snow that you can almost like blow out of the way, you know, take your snow blower, take your leaf blower out and just blow it out of your way. But is it going to get heavier
as
it continues?
Great question, Natalie. Basically, if you're closer to the shore, eastern parts of the state, there is a lot of sleet and some rain mixing in, and the warmer temperatures are coming in from the ocean. Remember, because it's a nor'easter, it's actually circling around counterclockwise, and it pushes all the air from the ocean over the Jersey Shore. So that's why the temperatures are getting warmer. And then that means rain is mixing in, some sleet is mixing in. So that the snow in those areas is going to be the real heavy snow, the type that you want to have to make a nice snowball. But further up north, say in Warren and Morris and Sussex, temperatures are colder. They're not getting as much moisture in there. So they're going to have the lighter, fluffier snow. So you'll probably see more snow actually blowing around up in North Jersey, and the real heavy, thick snow, eastern and southern sections.
Should folks, be on the lookout for ice if you have to go out and shovel, or if you have to be out on the roads today, coming home from work, or if you're a worker?
I think a lot of roads are going to be icy because the temperatures are cold. And yesterday, some snow started falling in my area, and the roads were really icing up very quickly with just a tiny bit of snow, 2 inches. It only takes a little bit. The snow falls on top of more snow, and it just keeps the temperatures cold. So if the roads were not treated, it's going to ice up. And actually, with the rates of snow, they're falling at a pretty tough rate, a pretty strong rate for the plows are having a rough time keeping up with it. So basically, a lot of roads will be icy. Yeah, I think driving conditions will be very bad later today and tonight.
How much snow has fallen so far, Len?
It's interesting because a little bit before midnight, there were some parts of the state that had 3 or 4 inches of snow, and some had 5 already at midnight. And then by this morning, I checked around 8 o'clock, and there were some towns that had 7 or 8 inches. And I was just looking at some numbers from the Weather Service not that long ago. Long Hill Township in Morris County already reported 16 inches on the ground. So now they're going to get a lot more because it's going to be snowing now the rest of today and a lot of tonight and lingering into tomorrow morning. So Long Hill Township, 16. Reddington in Hunterdon County has almost 13 inches on the ground already. Another big one, Morris Township, 13 and a half already. Somerville has reported 17.5 inches already. So those are huge numbers. South Plainfield in Middlesex County, 13.5 already on the ground. Belford in Monmouth County, you might not be far from there, 12 inches. And Hazlitt, 11 inches. So you have a foot of snow already at some parts of the Jersey Shore. Those are big numbers, and you're going to be getting a lot more snow. So, yeah, we have a long way to go.
Talking about the Jersey Shore, too, how about that coastal flooding, since this is a nor'easter, Len? How bad do you think that might be? Yeah,
the National Weather Service is calling for moderate flooding in a lot of areas of Ocean and Monmouth and Atlantic and Cape May. Moderate is usually 2 to 3, water levels could be 2 to 3 feet higher than normal during high tide. So basically, streets that kind of get flooded a lot whenever we get big rainstorms, they're going to be flooded, but it could even go beyond that. So you might have some areas where there could be some structural damage if there's low-lying buildings. But we really have to, keep a close eye on that if you live at the Jersey Shore.
Wind. Let's talk about wind. I know that's always a big concern. Power outages, damage. Yeah. How bad is the wind going to get in parts of the state?
Along the coastal areas could see gusts up to 40 and maybe even 50 miles an hour later today and tonight. Those are brutal wind speeds. Interior sections of New Jersey, 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts are possible today. So right now it's not too windy where I am, but I would expect the winds to really pick up a lot as the storm really starts to intensify.
Yeah, it sounds as though this is going to be a fierce storm for some time longer, but is it going to get to a blizzard status? The forecasters I talk to, they say it will probably fall just below blizzard status. The National Weather Service has like a really strict definition. You have to have 3 major criteria, and it changed over the last few years. So I have to look at my little sheet here. You basically have to have falling and or blowing snow. That's the first criteria. We're definitely going to have that. We have it already. There's falling snow, and when the winds pick up, it's blowing. Then you need sustained winds or frequent gusts of 35 miles an hour or higher. Now, we probably are going to have some times where we get sustained winds of 35, 40, even 50. We could have gusts of 50, but we don't know if that's going to happen 3 hours straight or longer. And then you also have to have one of the biggest factors for all blizzards, visibility has to be reduced to a quarter mile or less, and that's usually from the blowing snow. Again, some areas may get that for an hour, maybe 2 hours, but are you going to get that for 3 hours straight or more? It's a tough call right now, but most of the forecasters from the National Weather Service, they're saying that they don't think it's going to quite meet the criteria, but it'll be near blizzard conditions for sure. At times in different parts of the state. And guys, if you appreciate work like this, you can support us at NJ.com/subscribe. Len, let's talk about how long is this winter storm going to be churning? When is this going to come to an end?
It's a long one because the storm basically started hitting our area yesterday. So it was Sunday, late morning, early afternoon. And that was actually just one little piece of the storm system. It was coming from the Midwest and Great Lakes area. And then it basically came towards the Delaware coast, and part of the energy from that storm merged into another little system. It's actually a separate low over the ocean. And as of a little while ago, was still just forming off the coast of Delaware. And that thing is going to be moving kind of slowly over the ocean, but like kind of north and east. So basically that storm, as it's over the ocean, is going to intensify. So we still have a long way to go.
Jeez. When do you think the worst time might be for this storm? Again, especially for people who are essential workers who have to leave the house.
Yeah, based on what we're seeing now, probably late afternoon and early tonight. The storm is definitely getting stronger. The winds are going to pick up. The snow bands, some of the snow bands that are coming through are dropping snow at a rate of 2 inches per hour. That's a lot of snow. So,
can we hit once more? Some folks are asking how much snow has fallen. Can we hit once more on a couple places that maybe have been the most surprising?
Yeah, some of the big ones that I saw just in the last half hour, Long Hill Township up in Morris County, 16 inches of snow already on the ground. That's a lot. That's Reddington in Hunterdon County, almost 13 inches. Flemington, 12 inches on the ground, so a full foot. White House Station, also in Hunterdon County, 11.6. Then we have some pockets in Middlesex County, South Plainfield, 13.5. Edison already picked up 12 inches. South River, 11 inches. Somerville, 17.5 already on the ground. Monmouth County, Belford, and Hazlitt, 11 to 12 inches already on the ground. So those are some of the biggies.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of snow, knowing that there's a lot more to come. So you could pick up another 6 to 8 inches. It's not out of the question.
Unbelievable. And we're talking winds too, right, Len?
Yep. And some of the winds in inland areas, don't be surprised if some of the gusts go up to 30 to 40 miles an hour. And along the Jersey Shore, in the coastal areas where the storm is going to be more intense, some gusts could be as high as 50 miles an hour. Those are really powerful winds. So I would think that you're going to start seeing some more power outages later today. We don't have that many reported so far. Our news team is going to be checking power outages throughout the day. And I guess that's another plug to go on to NJ.com today. We're going to have coverage basically covering traffic problems, power outages, the latest snowfall totals, latest snowfall forecasts. We're going to have all that on NJ.com. So check back on our website throughout the day.
Oh, yeah. As things change, we're always churning out stories. But
Yep.
do you think things could change dramatically in terms of the snow that we're expecting in parts of the state?
So you mean, could it get even worse than forecast? Yeah. It's not impossible, because as we saw already today, that once in a while you get these really, really intense bands setting up, bands of snow. The best way to probably explain it is, in the summertime when you get thunderstorms, it could be like one area of your county or even of your town that gets like light rain, and then 1 mile away you may be getting torrential downpours.
Right.
When we get big snowstorms like this, it kind of sets up the same way with these big giant bands that they're very hard to predict where they're going to be, but there are going to be some places that get bands with 3 inches of snow per hour. That's a lot of snow. So it's going to be piling up really, really fast in towns that get those heavy bands. So I think snow totals they could go over 2 feet. In some areas, it's not impossible. There's also a chance that more sleet and rain is going to mix in, and that could keep the snow totals down a little bit compared to what the forecast was. So there's still a lot going on, and there's still a lot of unanswered questions. We kind of just have to wait it out.
Where do you think that rain, sleet, snow line is going to be?
Yeah, as of now, it's almost by like I-195. like that area. So that's kind of like Monmouth and Mercer County. It's most of the forecasts that I've seen have that line staying in that general area, but it could shift a little bit further north.
All right.
And actually, it might be happening now based on the sleet that I'm getting here in Middlesex County.
Yeah, I'm hearing a little bit more sleet as well here in Monmouth County on the window.
Yep, see that? And then that's going to keep your snow totals down in your particular town.
Oh, well, Len, thank you so much for walking us through and answering some of our questions. Like Len said, you guys, we will continue to have updates on NJ.com as well as on our Facebook page right here, Instagram too. So be sure to follow all the latest updates on NJ.com. Please be safe out there.